Man, every time I look at this Hudson Hornet Piston Cup McQueen in my display, whenever I look at all the McQueens I have, it is a bit sad that this McQueen has kind of been forgotten or not really talked about as much nowadays in comparison to how it was when the movie was coming out, and how this McQueen is probably one of my favorite versions of McQueen, and also it's wish that this McQueen would have had more screen time in terms of the paint job and not having to switch immediately to the War Grand Prix McQueen. But yeah, here we are. I can't believe it's been 15 years since Cars 2 has come out, and I know Mattel's not really acknowledging like Cars 2, although they kind of are in terms of like re-releasing Famous Missile and some of the War Grand Prix racers, but they're not re-releasing like this version of McQueen in terms of like its original version and not just the Easter version that they're bringing back once again. But yeah, but besides the point, uh, man, yeah, it kind of sucks that this McQueen doesn't really get talked about. But today we'll be acknowledging this McQueen for sure and give it the appreciation that it deserves. That never got back when Cars 2 was coming out, and back when when this McQueen was even available. But with that all out of the way, let's just get on with the appearance of this McQueen and his releases. So this McQueen ended up appearing at the beginning of Cars 2 when McQueen ends up arriving the Radiator Springs, and obviously Mater's so happy to meet it to was so happy to see his best friend McQueen again after the that season's Piston Cup, which kind of is concerning. Does Because isn't Mater a part of the team, or unless McQueen got a new pit crew that he was working with throughout the during the events of or like after the events of the first movie, before the second one, did he have like a different picker or something like that? I don't know. Yeah, cause or maybe he was there, but he just only kind of just saw him at the race, and that was it. He had to go back home. Who knows? But yeah, obviously this McQueen appears for like maybe the first few parts of like the beginning of the movie, and then obviously after McQueen decides to join the War Grand Prix, obviously he ended up updating the paint job and obviously getting the flames that he would end up keeping like for Cars 3 and so forth. And yeah, this is the McQueen that gets more recognition in comparison to this one, but I wish this one would have actually been the main paint job. But I mean, honestly, I'm kind of happy that at least we have a diecast. But now let's just move on to the releases. So this guy was only released maybe 2 to 3 times. His first release was back in 2012 in the Cars 2 line with the Porta Corsa background and so forth. That's the version that I own. I own the original 2012 release because I really wanted this McQueen so badly that I just decided, you know what? I don't care how much it costs. I just want this McQueen. I got it during quarantine time around 2020. I was so happy to get him. And well, obviously this has become one of my favorite versions of McQueen for sure ever since getting this diecast. But after that release, he was re-released in 2013 in a 2-pack with Sally and a table at I think the We Will Motel series in 2013, and then he did come back in 2014 as part of another series. I keep on forgetting. I think it was might have been the same series or might have been a different series. I'm not sure, but yeah, this McQueen did come back. But then afterwards, that was pretty much it for his releases, which is very surprising because I thought this McQueen would have had more releases, but no, it seems that this guy just didn't get any more releases after 2014, which is sad. And I wish that this McQueen would actually come back and not having to deal with the Easter versions because, well, I mean, he did technically is coming back because of the Easter version, but technically that's not like an actual Hudson Rider Piston Cup McQueen, like an original. But anyways, that's all for the releases, but let's just get on with the review of this McQueen. And yeah, obviously McQueen has a completely different expression. I actually do prefer this expression over the original one because this one kind of looks a little bit too robotic for me, and I like this version because, you know, it's more expressive. And I do like that they actually painted the mouth and so forth. Well, obviously, you know, gave them a new smile and so forth. And then he has the 95 with the new lightning bolt, which is a more smaller version. And then they obviously have the Rusty's logo, which is a bit more different from the one from the first movie. And then you got the lightning bolts, which I'm not sure if they're like placed a bit wrong on this version, but who knows. Unfortunately, mine does have a chip. Yeah, that I never really played with this one, but I think this chip just came like that when I opened it. And obviously he's got the light year tires, and this is actually one of the few versions of Lightning McQueen that actually include the yellow rims, which is accurate to the film. And then you obviously have the Hudson Hornet Piston Cup logo that they use for the Piston Cup to commemorate the passing of Doc and so forth. And, you know, basically in his memory pretty much of, like, you know, his legacy and so forth. Because obviously Paul Newman, the actor, Doc Hudson, passed away during after he recorded his lines in Cars 1, like 2 years later in 2008. And during the production of Cars 2, like kind of at the pre-production stage. So yeah, it is a bit sad that he's been gone for more than almost 20 years, basically. Miss you, Paul Newman. But yeah, let's just get out back on the track. This McQueen actually has a completely different bolt. It's a more smaller one, although you could see like a more faded version of the original logo. Which I do kind of like that detail a little bit, that he kept the original lightning bolt, but he just kind of has it faded in the background. And obviously he has less contingency sponsors on this paint job in comparison to the first movie, because obviously he's been racing for a few years at that point. He has a gas cap, he's got the Rusty's logo, he's got another 95 with the small lightning bolt, you got the Lightning McQueen signature. Same thing on the other side. He's got the Rusty's logo. And then on the back here, if the camera can focus, obviously obviously has Rusty's, the 95, medicated bumper element, no rookie stripe, because obviously he's been racing for a couple years. He's already won like I think 3 Piston Cup, four Piston Cups at that time. So, yeah, because he didn't win the next 3 for another few more years. And obviously this is the base. He was produced on the 208th day of 2012. Damn, this was like in the middle of the year, basically at that point. Obviously made in China, Mattel. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this McQueen. Let's compare it to the original, of course. Obviously, you know, as I said, expressions are different. The Rusty's logo is a bit different. This one looks like it's a bit more yellow. In comparison to this one that had like a more darker red and like a more darker yellow. I kind of personally like this logo maybe a little bit more, or maybe, I don't know, I'm not sure if that's even supposed to be like that. Tell me if you have this Hudson Hornet Piston Cup McQueen, and tell me if the Rusty's logo is like that, or is mine just a flat out error and I never noticed. I hope it isn't an error, because I don't want to freaking deal with having to buy another one, because this Hudson Hornet Piston Cup McQueen has kind of gone up in value ever since. I mean, he isn't that rare. He goes for like $30 to $40 on eBay. But honestly, I would not want to pay that for just one McQueen. Obviously, you know, less contingency sponsors. Obviously, has the Hudson Hornet Piston Cup logo. 95. Lightning Bolt is obviously faded on the Cars 2 version. Obviously, gas cap. Yeah, same thing. Obviously, the 95 is more smaller on this one in comparison to the original. The Lightning McQueen logo is more, I think it's a bit more smaller, and it was moved a bit more back. Obviously, it's different, and obviously this McQueen doesn't have yellow trim, even though it's supposed to in the movie. In the movie, he does have yellow trim on the tires, on the wheels, but unfortunately, Mattel never included it on this one, but somehow did include it on this one. Obviously, he has a rookie stripe because this was his rookie year. And yeah, obviously this one was this version is a 2016 release version, so I can see. So yeah, you kind of see why, but yeah, Thankfully, this McQueen doesn't actually have a mouth plate. And now let's bring in the Hudson Hornet Piston Cup McQueen. Or not the, what am I talking, the War Grand Prix McQueen. Oh my gosh, sorry about that. Man, how am I getting confused? Obviously, he has the Hudson Hornet Piston Cup logo. Obviously, he's got War Grand Prix logos. No Piston Cup sponsorships, because obviously this is not the Piston Cup. This is the War Grand Prix. Obviously powered by Alamo. And then obviously different type of wheels. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And of course, I do have the hauler for this Hudson Hornet Piston Cup McQueen. Sorry about that. Let me try and move that Piston Cup out of the way. This guy, well, he was only released back in 2012. No, back in 2011 when Cars 2 was coming out. This Mac was actually being released at that time. But this one became very, very rare. And it was so hard to find one of these before his re-release in 2023 that I'd been trying to look for one, but obviously there was none on eBay. But thankfully Mattel, for some reason, decided to even release this guy. Okay, yeah, the camera might have changed a little bit. I tried to change, so it could look a little bit more better. But yeah, this Mac is probably one of my best prized possessions. Not one of my favorite items in my collection, because obviously it's of the Hudson Hornet Piston Cup McQueen. This hauler I've been looking for 12 years. Obviously, there is that other version that is more detailed, but obviously that one's is also rare too. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I've been rambling too much. So much stuff has been happening. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It seems that Lightning McQueen videos usually do well on my channel. Yeah, let me try to refill. Okay. Yeah, it seems that Lightning McQueen videos seem to do much more better in comparison to the Dale Jr. video or even the Flash Nielsen video. Yeah, it seems that those videos didn't particularly do that well. So tell me in the comments, do you guys want me to review more McQueens, or do you want me to just freaking do something else? Like, honestly, I feel like doing like gameplay, maybe replay the Cars the video game again, since obviously it's the 20th anniversary, or maybe play some of the other Cars games, because I've not played Mater National. Well, I have played a little bit of Mater National. I played a little bit of Racerama, Cars 2 the video game, obviously I played, and Cars 3 Driven to Win. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Alright, bye.